grade. One of the reasons why this introduction was so hard for me is because I grew up in Chino Hills. I'm from a traditional Filipino Catholic family. I have 4 other siblings, and even though nobody like cut dry like compared me to anybody, it was always this inner voice in my head that told me to do that myself. And so I lived my entire life comparing myself to other people, and when it came down to doing this introduction, it felt like I was trying to prove myself worthy of this introduction. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. You know how like at interviews you tell people what like you're really good at, you tell them your strengths, you tell them all the great qualities, your credentials, and then even with like you're dating this new person and then you want to show like your best friend like who it is, and you like find their Instagram, but you find the best picture just so they don't judge you.
Yeah.
So I talked about how I was like Filipino Catholic family. I got lucky. In my family, we weren't pressured to be a nurse, so that's pretty cool. But they were like, for my family, I don't know if my parents are like voodoo masters or some, I don't know, but they never outright like forced us to do anything other than like church. But like everything else, I feel like they just like hid things in there and we just don't know. Because there was always this inner feeling of like pressure to do something in healthcare. And not unexpectedly, it's just how I was raised to be hospitable, kind to a lot of people, to help anyone and everyone that I could where I can, and where I was like good at it. And when I went to college, all that stuff, did kinesiology, thought that the best way to do that was to use my education to help people. It's not a bad thing to do, it's an amazing thing. But there was a part of me that always, not necessarily knew, because I definitely didn't, but questioned if it was right. And I just tried to continue doing it because I figured this is what I was supposed to do. And what I've always known what I wanted to do had nothing to do with the profession actually at all. Because I would talk to people about why I wanted to be a PT at one point, and it was because I wanted to help people. But a garbage man helps people. The bussers at your restaurant help people. So literally everybody in whatever job or task you're doing helps somebody. And I feel like this helps bridge a gap between, I'm crying. I'm stating what I'm doing. Instead of going into a 9-to-5 profession where I go to work and I help people that are only in that facility, I feel like I can communicate to people that that's possible wherever you are, rather than strive for greatness, which isn't a bad thing. It's an amazing thing if it's your calling, if it's what you want, it's what your passion is. But mine is more so to, I can't even say like inform, because I'm not gonna say that I know a lot, but I can do my best to relate and empathize with a lot of people. Not because I've gone through a lot of experiences the same as other people, but because I've trained my mind and my heart to put myself in other people's shoes. And a lot of people nowadays don't know how to do that. Or maybe just never learned or lost sight of it, or just it went over their head. And I feel like the self-awareness in society now has been very selfish, And it's not to say that to love yourself and to take care of yourself and to want the best for yourself is a bad thing. It's an amazing thing. But there are little lessons that we learn early on in life that disappear. And then you just start looking out for yourself.
Why you wanted to take this platform?
I feel like I hesitated so long because of the norm of like who does it or like what they say, and I don't know. The more important things in life and the actual reasons to stay alive are what we should talk about. Not about what brand makeup I use or like what clothes I wear, but the fact that I've gone through feeling like if I did what I wanted, it wouldn't be the right thing to do. It wouldn't be accepted, it wouldn't be stable, it wouldn't be professional, and it wouldn't be accredited the same. But like, at what point did that make anyone any better than me? The same way that looks are like that too. Just because someone's prettier than you doesn't make them better than you. Just because someone's uglier than you doesn't make them better than you in whatever regard we're talking about. Like, I knew a girl that was really pretty, and she would act like she was dumb. But secretly, she was really, really smart. And when I found out, I asked her like why she did it. And she was like, because all of my friends are struggling. And if I don't struggle, they might kick me out of my friend group. And I was just so confused. And we were in the same math class because she was my table partner. And then I was like, I'll be your friend. I was like, me, background, really big people pleaser. I asked a question and it opened up a can of worms, and I was like, oh no, what do I do now? And I was like kind of feeling bad because she kind of took my advice. And then she's like, you're right. Like, I don't know why I'm doing it. And then we ended up being friends. And the people like judged her and they weren't friends for a little while. But then it's like one of those like friendships where like they leave you, but then like a year or two later they realize that they messed up. And they're like, hey, let's hang out again, right?
Yeah.
So it was like that. And I don't think I've ever told anybody that story. I don't know why I remembered it right now. But it can go like both ways. So I know that the stigma is like pretty, better, ugly, worse, right? There's always gonna be this weird like stigma, no matter like at whatever perspective you decide to look at it. It just matters what you're looking at. It matters like trying to look at everything to figure out where you fall. And I want people to think about what comes from whatever they're listening to, rather than just be entertained and look at something. Because that's where we've gone to now, is I'm not doing anything, so let me just look at this screen for 6 hours. And at the end of it, I might be laughing, crying, whatever, but what information about either myself or the world or how to better either of them from that? Like, where I get the whole entertainment part, I do. Like, I get that we love to feel and like empathize with other people's like feelings, like movies, other stuff, but I feel like this platform should be used more efficiently and more like more mindfully, because that's where it's lacking, is the fact that it's right in front of you, but we choose not to, like, not even focus on it. We choose to disregard it rather than choose to learn more about it. Like, having to feel like I won't make it in this realm of professionalism instead of doing DPT school is like a weird path change for me. But like, when I have a kid, I don't want to, and it's not bashing on my parents at all, it's just the way that they were raised, the way that it was brought down. But at this point in my life, I need to take what I've learned at home and not at home to, yes, make the world less crappy, but to whoever I bring into the world, I don't want to ever make them feel like they're not worthy of something, or they're not good enough, or that should just be a side thing if you're passionate about it. And I feel like when it comes to like creating, there are a lot of people that are passionate about it. But then with social media and platforms like this, and how easy it is to, like, I'm not gonna say easy because there's a lot of work that goes into certain stuff, but how easy it is for someone to stand behind a camera and say things, to look a certain way, to buy certain things and then do a haul on it, and to do these things and to make money and to do all these like little things here and there and then get sponsored and then go travel, all these things. It's very like surfaced, and I feel like the creative minds are the ones that surpass that, are the ones that understand why they use those products. Not just because of why they use it, because they sent them a script of why this is a really good product, but they understand the mentality behind the product, or they understand the creation behind the product, or they know the person and they're supporting somebody because of it, rather than, I'm gonna make a bunch of money off of this for a month, so let me do that and build my platform so that way I can actually make it. Whereas I want the future of creative people to be the hard work that it takes to be in it, and to be rewarded rather than cut off so soon because they didn't do what everybody else said or did what everybody else did. Once again, I don't know what I'm saying or where I was supposed to be saying things.
What a hell of an intro video.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
and then you just cut it out and you're just like, hey, I'm right. That's it. Thank you for watching this and for following me on my journey as I figure myself out and as I share with the world what I have come to know or what I have experienced. But don't forget to live yours too. I will see you in my next video. Or I will see the camera and you'll see me in my next video. Okay, bye.